Good morning. My name is Micah GameDevMicah on social media, wherever you can find me. I wanted to start off today and had a great time yesterday talking with some Unity devs and comparing and talking about the basics of Unreal and Unity and how I went ahead and migrated about 3 years ago from Unity over to Unreal because of some of the hassles I was having in consistency from the engine. And what I want to tell you there is that after 3 months from moving from using Unity for 2 years in ECS and DOTS, which is their hyper or multi-threaded, data-oriented system for mass movement and control in C#. After doing that for 2 to 3 years, and those teams being let go at Unity, and so I wasn't getting any support from the development side of Unity, like consistent support. So they would say things such as, hey, here's the dot sample, we're going to give you documentation and video tutorials on this. Don't make your own. We're going to change it up too. And then they let those people go after a year and not put any of that stuff out. They did that twice, and that means I'm the fool. Then I need to do networking, and their network guy did basically the same thing. Came out and said, hey, networking's hard, you guys need to understand multiplayer's hard. And that was in 2020. At that point, I knew I wanted to do a multiplayer 3D game, and this is important to think about, which is like what type of game you're making and what type of tools you need from your engine. I want breaking edge 3D, I want lots of multiplayer, and I want people to help me with that. You can code all that your own and make your own engine, or you can try to grab those tools from engine that exists, like Unreal or Unity, and save you some of that time and get you some of that support, those people to help you. And what I'm seeing 2 years ago, and I think we're continuing to see now, is that management is jerking with us. And so I left because I wanted to pay that 5% fee more to Unreal because they changed the cap. Initially, 5 years ago, when I looked at comparing Unreal and Unity, if you made more than $50,000 with Unreal, you owed them 5% then of your revenues. Where with Unity, it was free. If you used the free license, you didn't have to pay them anything besides showing their Splash logo, and you got to retain all of your indie game dev. So that's a big difference, 5% difference. But it's the only one you can really play with. The Steam would be a locked 30% at the time. So I mean, it's like, how do you get more money? The government's going to take money. So after trying to make the free one with Unity work for 2 years and having their management shift the teams around, I went over and in 3 months felt like I knew everything I took 2 years of learning in Unity to do in Unreal. And I just wanted to start screaming at people, hey, leave. This is so much better. This is so much better. And I've been in Unreal for 2 to 3 years now, and I can't get myself to go back over to Unity for anything, honestly. It feels like pain. Now, I did transition from C# in code after 2 years of troubleshooting command line and go to our visual scripting language and blueprints because I like to see something pretty versus staring in code for so long. I'm expecting to go back over into C++ at some point to gain performance, but I don't need that performance yet. I did it as a little bit of a challenge to myself. Directly, I said, hey, we can get performance, and by going to C++ and going to multi-tenant in Unreal when we need it, can we do this in a single thread visual scripting language with 10x the weight behind us if we do it in a ECS or DOTS methodology, saying, so I don't want to lose that knowledge I got from Unity. And yeah, you absolutely can. You can batch things together from blueprints, limit the amount of calls you're doing, and people think it runs really well from what I'm getting feedback on. So, and I think it runs really well. Hey, good morning, Gurkha. Excellent to see you in here. Yeah, this is going to be a fun time for tutorials. I wanted to mention you yesterday, well, obviously I'm mentioning you right now on my YouTube video. You're an excellent resource for people to look at and find short tutorials on all the individual pieces on there. So I'll make sure to give a link over to your YouTube about now in the video. when you're seeing this thing hit on YouTube. So definitely check that out. And that's one of the great things and what I'm not going to be doing here. I'm not going to be doing a 24-hour long everything about Unreal. Those exist out there. They exist out there from Unreal themselves and also from a whole bunch of great devs. So there's all that content's out there and very well polished. And so I will point that out during my calls and try to get you to those individual content creators. All right. Now I'm going to talk a little bit about me, a very short period. I got some pictures to show. So what I did prior to becoming a game dev, or rather in between my game dev's creation time, was I was a competitive cloud engineer for data center companies. So what you're really just seeing here is that, these are CPU, RAM, disk, people, virtual machines, virtual machine environment with details on, and I'm not getting too close in there, but with details on exactly what type of hardware makes up this physical dedicated environment for virtual versus same type of information for cloud. How you tap those type of resources out of a cloud to, this is a picture of data center space. So if you were to buy cabinets and power, network connectivity, line your own hardware gear up in here. And then also to disaster recovery. So this is where you have multiple data centers across multiple cities or states or countries, and you're load balancing all that data. So what these diagrams are templates that I created and used in my career with 3 or 4 largest data center and cloud providers, such as CenturyLink, which is Lumen now, SunGuard Availability Services, iOS, which is now Flexential, which was Peak 10 on the East Coast. These are just big cloud services, security services, how you build data centers, how you implement Epic in the world, how you implement Amazon in the world. Although once you get to those sizes, it's cheaper to do everything yourself. But that's what I did for 20 years, was go into those details with customers, and from small and medium businesses up to Fortune 500s, and say, hey, how do we competitively win your business away from other large companies that are doing the same thing by looking at your infrastructure and trying to make it more optimized and save you money and then grow it. So that was cool because I feel like, I literally got to go out and with CenturyLink touch the cables that connect every city, every computer, understand how the routing works, and sell it all, make it all happen, deliver it all. And I did delivery as well before moving over into design and architecture. But I didn't do that much software. I initially started as a software engineer, as a computer science major. And so that gets you learn C++, BASIC, and all that stuff back in college. And so I wanted to go ahead and finish my IT career by going down the software again and do it with video games is one way to do it too. So that's me. That's the guy you're listening to. A little pause.